Welcome to 10 Minutes Today. The show's so hot, Chris Brown even tried to beat it once. True story. True story.
Doesn't even make sense.
10 Minutes Today is your 10-minute variety show where we bring you a 10-minute conversation to provoke thought and bring enjoyment to your life every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Hopefully, right here on YouTube. If you like the show, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave a comment, let us know what you think about what we're saying, what you'd like us to talk about in the future, and don't forget, somewhere on the screen you should be able to follow us on Twitter.
Also, I know that you're thinking about not actually hitting that like button. Just do it.
Or over there.
Right now, real quick. No pain, no gain. Go.
So yes, today's topic, of course, is a great one. We're going to talk about Jeff Sessions.
Fantastic. I love politics.
The U.S.
My favorite.
Attorney General. Matej?
Yes, sir.
You are not very politically motivated. You are not politically involved.
Yeah, I could care less on most fronts other than my own government.
So we are not going to get into exactly what happened because we are limited by this 10-minute conversation.
Well, I know that he was... Basically, it wouldn't have been a problem that he talked to Russia during the election, but he lied about talking to Russia during the election, and that's where the issue is. Because he was... Was he under oath?
Yes.
He was under oath.
And he's the Attorney General. He runs the entire legal system in the United States, and he lied.
That's
under
perjury.
oath.
I know that from Suits.
It is... Well, it's not technically perjury because he didn't flat out say he didn't speak to the Russians. He worded it like a lawyer would.
Well,
to make it come across as he never spoke to the Russians without identifying the fact that he never spoke to the Russians.
I was reading something that was saying he can be charged, like they are looking into the possibility of him being charged with like 3 different things. Perjury is one of them, like potential.
Right.
But normally what happens in situations like this is they dumb it down to like I can't remember the exact terminology of it.
Yep.
But it's like a easy off for lying under oath. And it's actually happened 2 or 3 times in the past. U.S. has passed.
Not to the Attorney General.
One Attorney General and one something else. I can't remember what it was.
Okay,
we'll include that in the description.
So, the whole idea of me starting like that was we're not going to get down the rabbit hole in that sense. But I want to know from the perspective of someone who is mostly outside of politics, and of course we are Canadians, so like Trump and Jeff Sessions, y'all can go fuck yourselves. Even American left-wing politics are fairly right-wing in regards to Canadian politics. You make that face like you didn't know that was true, which says a whole lot about what Matej understands about politics, but that's okay.
Wait. So you're suggesting...
No, that's a totally different topic. Today we're talking about...
No, 1 second. You're suggesting right-wing politics are...
Left-wing American politics...
Are less left-wing than ours.
Would be more right-wing than our Conservative Party, yes. Bernie Sanders would be more in line with our right-wing party in a lot of aspects. You gotta realize that like Bernie Sanders is crazy in the US for saying that they should have universal health care.
Okay.
We just have universal health care. There's no debate about it. There's no debate about abortion in Canada. They try, but let's be real. There's no debate about abortion in Canada. There's no debate about gay marriage in Canada. But that all still exists in the US. So, my point is, for someone who's outside of the spectrum, what would you think be the level where Jeff Sessions needs to step down? Has it already happened? Or at what point could you see it happening where you as you're brought in as a less than advised advisor who's going to tell him this is when you need to step down? Should it be when he lied under oath, and of course when it came out that we found out, should he have stepped down then? Or was he just talking to the Russian ambassador, which he is arguing was part of his job at the time? But again, we're not even going to get into that.
What about Obama?
Well, of course, Obama talked to the Russian ambassador while he was president of the United States. I saw that argument. I think it was on Breitbart. So at what point do you think Jeff Sessions should step down? Or should his advisors be telling him to step down?
I don't know. I don't know how bad it is. I mean, okay.
That's what I'm asking you, is how bad is it from your perspective?
I don't give a shit that he talked to Russia. But
Okay.
I think the issue is it's
Even though we know for a fact
Stop shaking.
that the Russians hacked the DNC, and they are the ones who leaked Hillary Clinton's emails. We know that for a fact.
well. I'm not sure.
That's the problem here, right?
Okay, so
that's
I
the
think
problem.
I think the problem is that he lied, and not necessarily that he was speaking with the Russians.
Okay.
Because if nobody, just like nobody says "believe me" when they're telling the truth, which, by the way, Donald Trump says after
He
every
does.
sentence.
He
Believe
does.
me.
It's bad.
Believe me.
It's bad.
Just like that, nobody is gonna lie about something when nothing sketchy's going on. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like if
It makes it look worse.
like if my girlfriend saw me talking to somebody that I used to go to high school with, and she's like, "Hey, I saw you yesterday with whoever," and I'm like, "Oh no, I wasn't with them." That all of a sudden makes it sketchy. Like
Right.
at first it might just be like, "Oh, I wonder what you guys were doing," and now it's like,
what were you
"What
doing?
were you doing?" You know?
Yeah.
Same kind of idea. So like if he just came out straight up and if they were like, "Hey, you talking to the Russians?" He's like, "Yeah, that's part of my job."
Right.
Duh. Then no problem.
See, I actually agree with you, which a lot of people who know me may find that surprising. But I don't see a problem with. I don't think it should be illegal if anyone wants to talk to Vladimir Putin and they have access to him. There's nothing illegal about that.
Sure.
The problem is when you say, "I didn't talk to that ambassador," and not only that, but you're the Attorney General, and you said that under oath. In my opinion, once the information came out, it would have been. I know he separated himself from the investigation, and the reason he's probably not stepping down is because Trump has already lost one or two major people in his cabinet already.
Yeah.
So that could be playing
Well,
into
also
it as
you
well.
need to think too. Like I don't know if you knew about those like historical. It's like precedent, right? Like
Right.
it's happened before, where someone has lied under oath as being in a position like that. I know there was one attorney general for sure, and someone else within the government,
Right.
where they give you that kind of reduced like charge, I guess you want to call it. So I suppose like if he is being accused of doing something like this, and it's been and it's happened before, and the person ended up getting off like no problem, which
Right.
I don't know the details of it. I didn't read into it. I just saw it in passing when I was
Right.
reading about this story. Then maybe perhaps that's his reasoning for not stepping down. He's just saying, "Oh well, it's happened before. They kind of got off, not too big of a deal, and maybe I'll be okay."
We still have a couple of minutes left, so I'm going to shift the conversation a little
Sure.
bit, right? So, we know multiple U.S. intelligence agencies have come out and said that it is a fact that the Russian government in some way supported the hacking, if not entirely, supported the hacking and the release of the hacked content from the DNC, which primarily included Hillary Clinton's emails.
Okay.
And, I mean, without a shadow of a doubt, that was her Achilles heel in the election. That is what lost her the election. I am not a Hillary Clinton supporter. I'm not a Hillary Clinton fan. I would have voted for her because I would never have voted for Donald Trump.
Yeah.
However, do you think that those emails and what the Russians did was enough to sway the vote in the country? Is that the reason she lost the election?
I think there's a lot to it. One of the things right off the hop is Democrats elected a woman. So I'd like to say that that's
Yeah.
I'd like to say that that's not one
But
of
a
the
black
driving
man won.
factors. That's
So
true.
are people in the U.S. more willing to vote for a black person than a woman?
That's true, but I think that
That is a fantastic conversation. I'm
Yes, it
writing
is.
that one down.
I think that the problem was obviously not only that. I think that
Right.
definitely was an issue. So I think if Obama didn't have such a strong platform, he wouldn't have won because
Fair
there was
enough.
a lot. I mean, he
And
had
the
a
Republican
great-
Party was in a far worse state.
that's true.
So,
So I think that the reason Hillary lost is a couple things. Number one, she's a woman. Shitty to say, I think that's fact.
but
Definitely
she'll
a
lose
factor.
votes because she's
Definitely
a woman.
factor.
Yeah.
Secondly, I think that another problem was that she had these issues with the emails, and so it kind of made her seem untrustworthy. And then she has that whole history with Bill, and although you shouldn't really associate Bill's run as president with
Bill.
hers.
It's President Clinton.
Although you shouldn't really associate the two, I guarantee it happens. Like you look at her, you
for
see
sure.
him. So
Yeah.
there's that. Also, I think that honestly, she represented government and more of the same. And I think Trump was, although fucking just crazy as shit and saying things that were just god awful, I think he represented something different and something that wasn't traditional government. Like I think if they put up Bernie Sanders in place of Hillary Clinton, he would win no problem. Because
That's a big statement.
because he again represented something different than regular government as to how everybody sees it, and I think that's why Trump won. I think that was the biggest factor because he represented something that wasn't traditional politics, and she was like the white knight of traditional politics.
I wouldn't say Bernie Sanders would have won the vote in the U.S. In fact, I would say Bernie Sanders was a worse candidate than Clinton because he would be viewed as a socialist, and Americans hate the word socialism.
I don't know. We need to take that one to another discussion.
That is the end of our time. If you enjoyed this conversation, once again, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe,
Just do it. Takes a second.
leave a comment, follow us on Twitter. #blessed.